Theresa here of Larkin Design, and welcome to my 2014 Project Life album. Today I actually have two layouts to share with you. I'm going to split it up into two parts so that it's not so long. And this is the first one. I am documenting Halloween. And so this is usually actually one of my favorite layouts to do every year. For some reason, the kids are excited and they're all dressed up and they want their pictures taken. And so I always get really good pictures on Halloween night, and I always have them dress up about an hour earlier than we're planning to go out, and I take a little time to just bring them out in front of the garage door and take their pictures in their costumes. I take some of them together and some of each of them individually, and they love it. It's our Halloween tradition, and I love the layouts that come from these photo sessions when they're dressed up in their costumes. And so for this year's album, this is 2014, I decided to do two Halloween layouts. One is sort of an overall Halloween, here's everybody all together, and here's a couple of pictures of us touring the neighborhood, and of course the candy haul. And then the second layout will highlight each kid individually. And so I like to do some of the individual photos because I think it's important for each of the children to have photos of themselves by themselves without their siblings. It's one thing that I didn't have a lot of growing up because I was the middle child. So all of my pictures are with my other siblings. So I make an effort to do that, not all the time, but at least on a regular basis, to take each one of them and give each one of them some time in front of the camera. They may not always want to, and if they don't want to, I try to respect that and say, oh, okay, well, just give me one picture of all of you together, and then we'll get your individual pictures next time. And sometimes that works out too. But usually on Halloween, I don't have any problems. They want to jump right in front of the camera, and they want everybody to see them in their costumes, and they love it, and they're excited, and there's a built-in bribe because they know they're going to get candy. So what I've done here is I'm just working on the left-hand side right now. This is a traditional pocket page, so I'm using some products. I'm using a mixture of products here. This was actually kind of fun to put together. The journaling cards are a combination of Maggie Holmes After Dark, Gossamer Blue, and I think there's a couple of Pink Paisley Moonstruck cards in here as well. And then the embellishments I'm using are also Maggie Holmes After Dark. This is a collection from last year that she did for Halloween. I think it was last year. And I've held on to it. I don't buy a lot of Halloween collections, even though the Halloween layouts are my favorites. I don't buy a lot of them just because it's one layout a year. So then I hold on to what I do have. So that was a fun collection to pull out and work with. I'm also using some stamp sets from Gossamer Blue. I have those in my fall kit just from last year. It's the stamp sets that came in the September, October, and November, possibly even December Gossamer Blue kits, the Life Pages kits, I think. And they've changed all that now, so it might be a little bit different. But anyway, and there's also some ephemera from Ellie's Studio. You saw that in my BYOK Build Your Own Kit video a couple of weeks back, where I ordered some Halloween ephemera, some wood pieces and some acrylic pieces from Ellie's Studio. definitely a wise purchase, and I'm loving using these on this layout. So on this side of the layout, I have two pictures of the girls. They were, Emberlyn was a mermaid that year, and Natalie was Elsa from the movie Frozen, like everybody else. And so, of course, they wanted to feel their tutus swishing in the wind and everything, so they were running around the driveway like crazy people. Just loving it. I had their tutus made from a seller on Etsy, and I don't remember who it is, but she did a fantastic job. And if you're interested in knowing who made those tutus, let me know. I'll probably look and see if I can go back and find that in my Etsy history, and I'll put it in the blog. She did a really amazing job, and now Emberlyn wanted to be a mermaid, but she wanted to be a red mermaid. So we sort of customized hers a little bit. And then they had to wear, in October in North Carolina, you never know if you're going to get a cold Halloween or a warm Halloween. And so I ordered tutus that didn't have sleeves, obviously. Most don't. And then we added some long sleeve shirts underneath so that they would be warm enough, but they didn't have to wear, it wasn't cold enough to wear coats. So that worked out in the end. And they look really cute. And then there's a house of them, or a photo of them at the house across the street. Now, I find it really tricky to actually get good pictures at Halloween after it gets dark. I know that I don't have exactly the right lens for dark shooting, and for dark shooting when it's very, very active, and they're running and they're not standing still when they're trick-or-treating. But you can get a couple. I get a couple when they're at the houses, and I focus on the light that's on their front porch, and I can usually get a couple of decent shots that way. And then I just put the camera away and just enjoy it. And obviously, in spite of the challenges of shooting in the dark and shooting when you're active and busy, I got enough photos to make 2 layouts. So it's something I remind myself every Halloween, take your pictures when it's still light in the driveway and get good pictures of their costumes then, and then put the camera away and just enjoy the night. And so that's definitely my emphasis there. Now, what I just did there was I took some of the Heidi Swap glitter tape and punched it using, that heart punch is an old punch from Stampin' Up, and it's one that I've had for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. It punches 3 hearts, and I love it, and I am never giving that punch up. I don't think that they still make it, so I'm sorry it's not available anymore, and I don't know that I've ever seen one that was like it ever since then. They're just 3 little tiny confetti hearts, and I just use that punch a lot and love it. So sorry that that's not really something I can link you to. That's okay. We still have to use stuff in our stash. Some of you probably have it as well, I'm sure. So I'm just going through the layout here onto the other side, and working with these journaling cards, you can sort of see that I've alternated light cards versus darker cards. I'm still a big fan of my white space, and it's one of the things that, Halloween products tend to become dark, and that sort of, I don't really want that so dark for my layout. So that's one of the reasons why I used some of the Gossamer Blue journaling cards, because they had a nice amount of white space, and the photos from in front of the garage doors have a nice bit of white space as well. So that balances the dark versus the light, hopefully. And so I just alternate those. And that's sort of my go-to. I don't know if you guys have noticed, when I'm doing my design work and when I'm selecting journaling cards and selecting where to put things, I sort of use a tic-tac-toe approach. And so you can see that I've put 2 light photos on either corner and then 2 dark photos on the other corners. And then the same with the journaling cards, light, dark, just to try to keep it balanced and to try to keep it from being too visually heavy one direction or the other. And that seems to work out pretty well. You'll see at the end the layout. I'll show the whole thing, and you'll see how it flows really well around the page, light versus dark, and it keeps the layout from being too heavy. So apparently I stepped away from the camera here for just a minute. That's hilarious. Okay, I went to grab this card. I think that this card is actually from Simple Stories. Like I said, it was just a combination of products that I had pulled together to use for this, and then I didn't end up using that Hello I Am card. I didn't end up using it. I thought it might be cute. Whoops. Sorry. I thought it might be cute to use that. If it were in a smaller format, it would be really cute to use that in the individual photos and say, hello, I am Elsa from Frozen, or whatever. I ended up finding a different way to highlight who they were. But you'll notice, just going around the page, I just added 1 or 2 little things to each photo or journaling card. Just a few things here or there, a little light wood embellishment or an acrylic heart or star. Those have really become staples for me, those acrylic hearts and stars. Anybody else? I feel like I'm constantly purchasing them and constantly using them. They're just fun. So that's good. I also stamped a few lines directly on the photo here, and I'm going to just journal a little bit. It's always fun to walk behind them and to listen to their chatter and their excitement, and they stop every once in a while and come and show us what they got, and it's just a fun night. I grew up not being able to celebrate Halloween because my parents were religious people, and so we didn't get to go trick-or-treating when I was little, but I'm definitely glad that our kids get to enjoy that and get to have fun. So that's pretty much it for part 1. I'm going to wrap up here and clean up a little bit and share with you the full layout and some close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you back here again soon. Thanks again, you guys. Bye-bye.